Morning. Today is Thursday, April 10, 2025, and we are on to a fresh edition of your breakfast on Leadership Television inside Nigeria. My name is Winifred Weber, your host on the program. On today's show, we are looking at what the papers are saying, including Nigeria's most influential leadership. Let's see what leadership offers today on this menu as we go to leadership. Leadership says global recession looms as trade war escalates. China imposes 84% tariff on US goods. Trump retaliates with 125% China tariffs. 64 countries hit with reciprocal tariffs. Markets volatile amid turmoil. Kickers to the leading story. Global recession looms as trade war escalates. China imposes 84% tariff on US goods. Trump retaliates with 125% China tariffs. 64 countries hit with reciprocal tariffs. Markets volatile amid turmoil. Leading story today, leadership. Still on leadership, new e-visa system set for launch May 1. APC is still my party. Buhari tells governors. Some APC governors did pay caustic visit to the former president in Kaduna recently, and in response to that, Buhari says APC is still his party. As thunderstorm kills 5 in Imo. 125 die in nightclub roof collapse in Dominican Republic. Above the masthead of leadership, Labour Party crisis deepens. Party splits into 3 factions. Abure, Nenadi, Apapa claim party leadership. Leading stories today on leadership newspaper. And for the picture, we have the chairman, Access Holdings PLC, Agboje Ag Imokwede, His Eminence John Cardinal Onayekon, President of Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Founder and Chairman of Zenith Bank PLC, Jim Ovia, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and Delta State Governor Sheriff Oberiwori during the admission of Jim Ovia to the freedom of the City of London in the United Kingdom on Monday. Congratulations to him on this honor due to the banking father, as he's well known. This is a picture that is also gracing some of the pictures we have for review this morning. From the cover, we move to the page 3 of Leadership newspaper, where we have our stand. Today's stand is on outbreak of meningitis. Outbreak of meningitis. The country is witnessing a resurgence in the outbreak of infectious diseases, ranging from diphtheria, Lassa fever, and more recently, cerebrospinal meningitis (CSM), with cases reported in 22 of the country's 36 states, as well as the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) Abuja. We urge parents and community leaders to ensure that children and at-risk individuals get vaccinated. The NCDC, which announced that vaccines are available at health centers nationwide, urged Nigerians to take preventive measures seriously. It's better to stay safe by getting vaccinated at the nearest health center, avoiding overcrowded, poorly ventilated places, and practicing good hygiene, washing hands regularly, the center advised. It also urged citizens to avoid close contact with sick individuals and seek immediate medical attention if symptoms appear. Nigerians are urged to report suspected cases immediately. For emergencies, dial the NCDC helpline 6232. These are part of excerpts from today's stand on leadership, outbreak of meningitis. From our stand, we move to the back page, where we have Thursdays being blunt with Muazu Elize. Muazu Elize is the GMT of Leadership Newspaper Limited, and today is writing on Know This Now, There Won't Be Local Government Autonomy. Know this now, there won't be local government autonomy. This is in spite of the Supreme Court ruling granting fiscal autonomy to local government. In court, it says it is painful, but this is the reality of our lived national experience. Quote from today's column, being blunt with Muazu Elize: know this now, there won't be local government autonomy. Just before we leave the back page, let's go to Ghana Must Go. Ghana Must Go's news says Ribadu asked Nigerians to stop paying ransom to bandits, kidnappers. And guess what the reply is? He will pay on behalf of the victims. Funny one, you might say. What for continuation of these stories? Don't forget to log into the website of Leadership, www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we move over to the next paper on our lineup, and that is The Punch. The Punch is talking about return of Naira for crude. It says few prices may fall as FEC renews Naira for crude deal. Few prices may fall as FEC, that is a Federal Executive Council, renews Naira for crude deal. Dangote NNPCL expected to review prices this week, coming from marketers. Labour Party splits into three factions as Apapa declares self-chair. The story runs on page 24 of The Punch. Brain drain. Nigeria loses 14,815 nurses, midwives to UK. Soyinka says, I'm saddened by happenings in America. And of course, you want to ask this Nobel laureate, what about the happenings in Nigeria? But he says he's saddened by happenings in America. Buhari says no increase in my fiscal assets after presidency. Tinubu hates Jim Ovia after prestigious London honor. That takes us to the story just beside the masthead of The Punch. Rivers administrator under fire over local government electoral chiefs removal. That brings to a close review of front headline stories on The Punch newspaper this Thursday, April 10, 2025. Don't forget to log into the website of The Punch for continuation of these headline stories and inside stories. Let's move on to the next paper we have on our menu, and also paper with similar headline, and that is The Nation. The Nation says return of Naira for crude deal raises stable petrol price hope. Return of Naira for crude deal raises stable petrol price hope. Policy now permanent for energy security. End to reliance on forex in domestic market. That's a good one, and a renewed hope for Nigerians. Return of Naira for crude deal raises stable petrol price hope. Policy now permanent energy security. End to reliance on forex in domestic market. The story continues on the cover and it flows down to page 2 of the paper. Beneath that, we have 28,000 barrel per day oil terminal shut by protesters. Row over redrawing of words in worry deepens. Trump holds 90-day break on tariffs for Nigeria orders, raises China's to 104%. From that, we move to the stories about the masthead of The Nation. Nenadi NLC Apapa battle for grip of Labour Party with Abure. Agent seeks intra-Africa trade to survive tariff regimes. Nigerian Stock Exchange Group approves 4.4 billion naira dividends for shareholders. Ovia admitted to freedom of City of London. That concludes the review of front headline stories on The Nation this Thursday morning. Don't forget to log into the website of The Nation for continuation of these headline stories. Let's move over to the next paper on our lineup, and that is Blueprint. Blueprint says, embrace citizen-centric leadership. Buhari tells APC governors. Like I mentioned earlier, some APC governors did pay courtesy visit on the former president in his Kaduna home recently. Embrace citizen-centric leadership, Buhari tells APC governors, while the ex-president says that he left office with same physical assets gotten before his mandate. The story continues on the cover and runs down to page 8 of the paper. Embrace citizen-centric leadership, Buhari tells APC governors. Underneath that, relief as FEC orders full implementation of Naira for crude deal. Says process will end Nigeria's dependence on forex for petroleum. Ekima urges support for Dangote refinery. Echima urges support for Dangote refinery. Plateau killings. IGP deploys DIG operations tactical squads. Nigeria posts $6.83 billion balance of payment surplus 2024. Federal government to implement e-visa, introduction of landing exit card May 1. And another leading story, second leading story or third leading story actually on the cover of Blueprint newspaper today. Labour Party neck, Obi Nenadi preach peace, Oti woos Abure with board chair. Lagos, 27-year-old barber backs life imprisonment for defiling minor. And just towards the masthead of Blueprint, Ibas appoints administrators for Rivers 23 local government orders. Jimovia admitted to the freedom of the City of London. And in sports, Juventus turned to Lookman after Osimhen snub.